Is your Rottweiler puppy pulling while you're trying to take it for walks? Are you concerned because Rottweilers are going to grow up to be such large, powerful dogs, and you want a dog that will walk nicely to heel by your side under complete control? Well, don't worry, because that is exactly what I'm going to help you with in today's video. Welcome back to the Fenrir Rottweiler Show. If you are new here, my name's Will, I'm a canine behaviourist and I'm the founder and CEO here at FenrirCanineLeaders.com. And this channel is dedicated to helping you learn everything you could ever possibly want to know about the incredible Rottweiler and then how to become a high-level canine leader that raises perfect Rottweiler companions. So if you are interested, you love Rottweilers as much as we do, then please start by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so that you never miss a future video. But with all that said and done, let's dive into the meat and bones of today's video, and we're going to be talking about how to get your Rottweiler puppy to walk nicely by your side. Now, as a canine behaviourist that specialises in large, powerful breeds, especially guardian breeds, and the Rottweiler being one of the most common guardian breeds, Rottweilers are right at the top of the most common dogs that I work with. And one of the most common problems with these large, powerful breeds, and in particular Rottweilers, is about how badly they pull on walks. And being so strong, it can often cause a raft of disastrous problems. What then tends to happen is that people will stop walking them as much, and a Rottweiler needs to burn off that energy. They're not burning off that energy, and then lots of more further behaviour problems start to set in, and it's a slippery slope, often to disaster of them ending up in shelters or unfortunately euthanized, which is exactly what we're trying to stop from happening here at Fenrir. Now, to stop that from happening with you and your Rottweiler, it's about right now, in this moment, taking ownership that you are not going to be that person and you're not going to allow that to happen. It might be cute and okay to allow your puppy Rottweiler to pull while walking, but like I say, when they grow into big, powerful dogs, it is a recipe for disaster, and you are in complete control. And I'm going to teach you about how we restructure that now. If you've got a Rottweiler that is pulling, about how you can stop now, reverse that, and get to an excellent point of having your Rottweiler walking beautifully to heel. Hey guys, very quickly, in case you didn't know, we have our Perfect Puppy program. It's the program that I designed myself as a canine behaviourist to help you guys become a high-level canine leader yourself, and then how to be able to take your puppy from the second you bring it home all the way through to that dream of the perfect canine companion that you've always wanted. So if you want more information on that, there'll be a link down in the description box below. Thousands of people have now gone through that process to extremely high levels of success. So there's some testimonials you can go and check out. More information, it's all in the description box below, but let's get back into the video you were just watching. So the first thing that we always need to do, and this is very much falling in the realms now of behavior modification and putting in a behavior intervention to stop something that's bad. Dog training is more about teaching something new. And when we're teaching something new, we're going to utilize more of a very positive, rewards-driven solution to the problem. When we're talking about behavior modifications and behavior interventions, we're going to have to use a bit more of a balanced approach. Now, whenever we do any kind of behavior modifications and interventions, we must always start with a base layer of building up a fantastic foundation, whether you are a high-level canine leader that has the relationship with the dog, that understands that you are the leader in the relationship, and it can look up to you for guidance and direction in all situations. If you haven't got that, you cannot have a dog that will walk nicely to heel, and in particular, an independent, confident, often with a high prey drive breed like a Rottweiler. Again, recipe for disaster. So the way we do that is we utilize our boot camp program. It's a 1 month long program. If you're interested in that, you can go and check out the link in the description box for our boot camp program. But that's all about restructuring that relationship. We're not going to focus on that in today's video, because I want to focus on more of the intricacies of how we go about getting a dog that's already pulling to be able to get them to walk nicely to heel. Now, if you're following our Perfect Puppy program from day one, we'll teach it slightly differently, because in that circumstance, we're dog training and we're teaching something from scratch, and we can do it in a much positive, bright approach. This is more about behavior modification, like I keep saying. So the structure and the process is going to be a little bit different. So we've restructured that relationship. Fantastic. We're going through that boot camp program. You're becoming a high level canine leader. The dog's starting to understand, okay, cool, they're in charge. That's who I need to look to for guidance and direction. And if I do that, everything in the world is going to be fantastic. Whilst we're going through that boot camp program, we also have lots of opportunities to work on obedience and working on these kind of more specific behavior modification things. And that is where we're going to really delve into fixing the issue of a dog pulling on a lead. So the first thing we do, we take a two-step approach to this. We need to teach the desirable positive behaviors that we do want to see, and we need to let the dog know what the undesirable behaviors and be able to correct those behaviors, redirect them to the desirable ones. So fantastic. First thing we do is, again, utilizing a very positive based approach, is we teach the dog how to walk to heel in a low distraction environment. We use a lure, mark and reinforce based approach. We start just stood on one spot, we get a bit of food reward, we lure them into a nice heel position. When they're in the heel position that we want, we mark that, we praise it. We mark it with the term heel, and then we praise, give them the food, and we reinforce it. We drill that. We then start to move 90 degrees, 180, 270, 360. We go clockwise, we go anti-clockwise. We lure them into the right position. We mark it with the term. We praise it. We lure, mark, reinforce. Very basic principles. That starts to get the dog to understand that, oh, this word heel means that I want you to be on my left-hand side. Then we start to add some steps in. Again, as part of our Perfect Puppy program, we go into tons of detail in this, but we haven't got time in this video, so I'm going to give you the quick kind of overarching theory of how we do this, and hopefully there's lots of tips and tricks in this video you can pick up and run with your Rottweiler. But what we do is we then start to add some steps in. So not only are we turning in different directions, but we're also walking in different directions, taking multiple steps, lure, mark, reinforce. Always keeping them in that heel position by luring them there with a food reward. When they're in the position, we mark it with the term, and then we praise and reinforce. We then add a lead to that situation. So we've done all of this so far with no lead. We add the lead. Again, absolutely fantastic. That way we've got the dog, and this can be done with a Rottweiler in particular being so intelligent. In a couple of sessions, we can usually get a point where a Rottweiler has a very good comprehension that I want you on my left-hand side with this lead being nice and loose. This lead means nothing. It's just there. You don't need to worry about it. The principle is the same whether there's a lead there or not. I want you on my left-hand side, paying attention to me, looking up to me for guidance and direction. Then we start to layer up the distractions. Fantastic. So we might take it out to a garden, but with no distractions, then to a quiet road, then to a busier road, then to a dog park where there's no dogs. And again, we're starting to slowly layer up those distractions and try and wherever possible to work on it in baby steps and keep it as a positive experience as possible. But what's going to happen is, because by now your dog has established negative habits of pulling on a lead, and that's what we're trying to unpick. Now, the reason we start with the principle in a very positive manner of teaching them what it is that we do want them to do is because we can't correct and redirect a dog if that dog doesn't understand what it is that we do want from them. That's not fair, and that's poor leadership on your part. So first of all, we go through that process of letting them know what it is that we do want. Then, if they pull, we ask them nicely, again, this is all very positive based approach still, to walk to heel. That's why we've been using that verbal cue, that marker of heel. At that stage, if the dog doesn't do that, they are making a conscious decision to ignore a command that they fully understand what that command means. So they know what it means, they know what heel means. The problem now is that they have made a decision to ignore it. That decision is probably because the option of what they want to do is more interesting than the thing that you're asking them to do. Now, a very positive based approach would be to lure the dog into that position. Where people fall down with Rottweilers and where a lot of positive trainers refuse to work with breeds like Rottweilers is because if that thing that's interesting is a smaller dog or something that they see as a threat, you can't lure them away with a piece of hot dog. This is where we need to take more of a balanced approach, and we need to be able to correct that behavior and let them know, excuse me, I don't want you to do that. I want you to do this, that I know you understand. I'm being completely fair. I'm asking you to do something that I know you understand, and I am in charge. I am the leader. You need to follow my guidance and direction, which is why we have underpinned this whole project by going through that boot camp, which is what I said at the start of the video. If you don't have that foundational relationship with your Rottweiler, this will never work, because then when they want to make the decision to do something else, they have no respect for your authority or leadership and will do what they want to do as opposed to doing what you're asking them to do, regardless of whether they understand it or not. So that's the importance of calm, consistent leadership. At no point have we got angry, frustrated. We're remaining calm, and we are in control of the situation as a good leader. And right now, you are demonstrating the wrong behavior. I know you know what I do want from you, and you're choosing to ignore it. So I'm going to correct you for doing that. Now, what that doesn't mean is beating the dog, really physically trying to hurt the dog, to punish them aggressively. That is an old school approach. There's a debate to be had of whether it would work. It might work, but there's a knock-on ramification in terms of the relationship and the trust that you're building with your dog. That's why we focus on the boot camp. We don't beat fear into our dogs. We don't beat leadership and respect into our dogs. We earn that respect and we earn that leadership through an ongoing 24/7 process of the way we live with our dogs, which is what that boot camp protocol teaches you. Now, like I say, we've been working on that. Fantastic. So how do we correct them when those bad behaviors start to slip in? Well, we've got two options. First of all, we've got what we call lead pressure. Now, we never get into a point where we're choking our dogs, we're playing tug of war with them, but the second that they move out of that heel position, we can give them a little bit of lead pressure. Now, what that is there's no pressure, pressure goes on, pressure goes off. So it's a little pop on the lead. It's not a ragging them around. It's not dragging them around. It's just a little, the equivalent would be just to tap somebody on the shoulder. Now that tap might need to be a little bit firmer if whatever we're trying to interject with that person is very distracting. The higher the distraction level that is distracting the dog away from heel, the more we might have to just remind them. Then we redirect them to the right behavior, which is heel, and then we can go back to reinforcement. So we correct, we redirect, we reinforce, and we can do that through a little bit of lead pressure. I like a slip lead originally. If you've got a more adult Rottweiler, again, we're talking usually smaller puppies here, so a slip lead is more than enough. They're a little bit excitable. It's just to have that little bit of a little tap, a little reminder, I don't want you to do that. I'm in charge. Remember, I'm redirecting you. I want you to walk to heel. They go, oh yeah, sorry, no worries. I know what that means. Drop back in, and then we can praise, then we can reinforce them. And it's just about consistency, taking that consistent approach. With an older dog, we might move on to other tools, but we like to start with the least amount of pressure to get the job done. It's just a little bit of a pop, let them know, no, heel, awesome. Bring them back into that heel position, and then we reinforce it. So we correct, redirect, reinforce. Now, another way you can do that, which is even less correction based, even less punishment based, is say we're walking down a straight road, the dog decides to pull. The second they pull, we stop and we turn 180. We turn all the way around. The dog is going one way, you've turned the other way, and we stop. We then lure them back into position. So the correction in itself is them not being able to go towards what it is that they're trying to go towards. The second they go, it's like, nope, I'm in charge and we're going this way. We bring them back into the heel position. When they're in the heel position, we move forward again. If they decide to pull, nope, 180. Bring them back into the heel position and we move forward. I am in charge of this situation. I dictate where we're going. The second you decide you want to dictate, you ruin it for yourself, we stop and we go back in the direction that I want to go in. If you want to move forward, and all dogs want to move forward with their pack, with their leader, that stopping and going in a different direction is usually, quite often the case, is correction enough for the dog to understand, oh, that was annoying, oh, that was annoying, oh, that was annoying. If I just don't pull, we get to move forward, we get to make progress. Now, where that idea falls down is if you're going for a walk with your dog and you're limited on time, you don't necessarily want to just be doing, for the first few walks, 180, 180, 180. You'll never get anywhere. Now, it's an excellent drill that you can do in your garden. You can do it at a park. But if you're trying to walk to the shop and you want to take your dog with you for a little bit of quick exercise, then the lead pressure correction can be a better alternative for you. So to summarize the process that you go through when you're rehabilitating a dog, doing a behavior modification program, in terms of stopping them from pulling, is first of all, we have to restructure that relationship. Ensure you are a high level, calm, consistent leader and the dog seeks you for guidance and direction. That's most important for every aspect. Every behavior problem and every positive thing that we get from our dogs all stems from that relationship. So we address that first and foremost. That's the root cause. We address that. On top of that, we build up in a very positive manner that we let them understand what it is that we do want from them, because we can't correct them for bad behavior if they don't understand the opposite and what we want as the desirable behavior. So we teach that first. Again, a very positive approach of lure, mark, reinforce. Slowly catch your monkey. We build it up nice and slowly. And then when we try and take that out into the big wide world, if they do choose the wrong behavior, we correct that behavior, we redirect them to the desirable behavior, and then we reinforce the desirable behavior. Again, none of that is rocket science. It's quite a basic principle and procedure, and it will 100% work if you implement it with calm, consistent leadership, and you implement it consistently. Calm, consistent. Consistent is in my little catchphrase for a reason. If you do that 2 times, and then you can't be bothered because you're really busy and you're rushing and you don't do it 2 times and you let the dog get away with it, it is completely your fault that you have a dog that pulls. You must implement everything that we do with our dogs consistently. A leader in the dog world is consistent 100% of the time. If you want your dog to see you as a calm, consistent leader and always look up to you for guidance and direction, you must be consistent with your rules, boundaries, and expectations. That consistency is key. So I hope you got a lot from that video. I tried to pack as much into it as possible, but if any client comes to me seeking behavior modification for a dog that pulls, that is the process that we go through every single time. And as long as the client themselves commits themselves to the process, it will work every single time. It's all about you. It's all about you becoming a high-level canine leader, and it's all about you being consistent and dedicated to the process. If you're willing to do that, I promise you will have a perfect Rottweiler puppy that you've always dreamed of. So again, if you need any more help, the links to both our boot camp are down in the description box below. And if you're watching this because you're getting a new puppy and you want to do it right first time round, then our perfect puppy course is also down in the description box below. That'll be perfect for you. So I hope you found that useful. Subscribe if you are new here and you want to see 2 new Rottweiler videos every single week. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't accidentally miss them. And I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Fenrir Rottweiler.